Hello my art-loving friends. In today's video I have a couple of watercolor goodies to show you, gifts that I've received, a couple things I bought myself, and I would even bet that there's one or two items in here that maybe you have never seen before, so stay tuned. So because of Mother's Day being this weekend, I did buy myself one thing and then I received some generous gifts that I want to share with you. I have to admit to you guys though, I am feeling a bit overwhelmed with the supply overload that I currently have. So I'm kind of glad that Christmas is over, Mother's Day is over, and nothing in my life, I think anyway, happens until Christmas time. Phew! Because I need some time to just be here and breathe and use what I have. If you've missed all of my art haul videos, I will link that up in the corner for you so you can catch up if you would like to. Just happened to be a lot between January and now. Well, between Christmas and now. And yeah, it's time to step back, and a lot of this isn't stuff I bought for myself. A lot of it were gifts, but a few things I did buy for myself for sure. But I would say if you're here for art hauls, then you're probably going to be disappointed till Christmas. So go watch all of my old ones because there's lots of them. And I am on a no buying anything art supply related freeze for my mental sanity here. All right, enough of that. Regardless, new art supplies are so fun. So let me show you what I have stacked up here on the desk and we'll just get started. The first thing that I'm going to show you is a group of items I bought for myself. And I went a little bit overboard because I wanted to try all the sizes. What is this, you might ask? This is the new release by Hahnemuhle of their 100% cotton sketchbook. This is cold press, 250 GSM, so it's 120 pounds. Just as a reference, the paper in the Etcher 100% cotton sketchbook is 105 pounds. So the Etcher sketchbook is slightly thinner than this paper. I just noticed on this though, I have taken it out of the plastic, and where the band goes around, now the cover is kind of sticking out. This band is pretty stiff compared to the Etcher ones. Yeah, it's bent and tweaked, so hopefully I can bend it back. Who knows? But here's the paper. It feels very smooth for a cold press paper. Even on the side that I believe is the right side is very smooth, so it'll be interesting to compare that to the Etcher cold press. So I received this in the A4 size, the 19.5 by 19.5 centimeter size, which is 7.7 inches square, the A5 size, which is 8.3 by 5.8, and the 14 centimeter square one, 5.5 inch square. So as far as I know in the US, you can still only get these from wet paint. Shoot, what is that called? Wetpaint.com? Oh boy. Well, I'll look that up and put it on the screen here for you. Since I ordered and I wanted to get free shipping, I ordered 4 of them, so I better love them. And if not, I guess one of you will get them in a giveaway. I'm still bugged about this bent cover though. I may just take an office clip and clip the side, but then I'm kind of worried that it'll bend it the other way. Not a big enough office clip. Speaking of not big enough, these have 60 pages in them. Holy cow. Yeah, so the project that I'm hoping to do, I only had about 40 ideas for it. So I had to come up with an extra 20 because I want to do the entire sketchbook, this one particular project. So it's 30 sheets, 60 pages, just to be clear on these. So one of these I'll just use as a regular old sketchbook and we can try that out, but I definitely want to save the one for my whole thing. But now that this is tweaked, I almost don't want to use this one for my fancy project because it's supposed to be kind of super special, right? And now this whole edge is messed up. So yeah, I'll grab a bigger office clip and see if I can't fix that. I suspect not. The next group of items I'd like to show you are these Khadi sketchbooks. So I've seen these once before, I think on Paint and Hiding's channel. And let's pull one out. What I suspect, they are 100% cotton, but I suspect that they're not sized. So let's see what we think. This is the smooth cover, or the soft cover, and this is the hard cover. So the paper feels great. It feels nicely textured. It has the torn edge. It's beautiful, but I don't think it's gonna be sized. It doesn't feel super soft and cottony, like completely unsized paper, like the one in that sketchbook I used for so long for, I don't know, that whole month of March. I'll link that video in case you missed that. It was a sketchbook I did full of watercolor. It was not meant for watercolor, even though it said 100% cotton watercolor paper. It was not sized. And it doesn't feel quite as fabric-y as that new bested paper I tried in that other video either, and I can link that up there for my coloring book. So I don't know, we'll have to just try it and see if watercolor works on it or not. We'll do a painting on it. And I believe, yes, I think this is the exact same paper. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. No, this is thicker. So 210 GSM rough, 210 GSM smooth. Okay, still pretty textured for smooth. I like that. And this rough stuff feels amazing. Well, I really do hope it takes watercolor because this will be super fun to use. Next, we have more watercolors because I need more watercolors like I need a hole in the head, but these are kind of cool and I'm grateful to have them. And other than, hang on, I have it right here. This little palette here, this has some Schminke colors in it and then some that I mixed with Schminke colors. So these are the only Schminke colors I've ever used. So I was given 6 of these colors by a very generous subscriber and then mixed up some more with the Volcano Red and Volcano Yellow. So I made this cute little palette of these colors here. So those 6 were the only Schminke colors I had ever had the opportunity to try. And now we have this beauty. So let's open that up. The tin is beautiful. Any new watercolor tin usually is. Ta-da! So 12 full pans. Lemon yellow, magenta, heliocerulean, ultramarine violet, permanent olive, permanent green olive, Saturn red, Pyroline violet, Payne's gray bluish, and Pyroline green. And I would say my only complaint about it is that the lid doesn't sit flat. And I'm not sure you could bend it apart enough to make it sit flat, or that I want to risk trying to do that. It's not a big deal. I'm sure that mixing watercolors over here, it's not like you're pushing down on it, so I'm sure it will be just fine. I do like that this one sits level though. That's kind of nice. So let's open one of these up just so you can see what one of them will be when it's all open. Ugh, I rip them every time. Here it goes. Ooh, it's all cracked. Interesting. Okay, full pan. Ta-da, just like that. Keep this in here and we will do proper swatching and all that jazz later. And I guess 12 full pans is not enough. I also received this. This is the Botanical set special edition. How fancy is that? Look at the tin. I've never seen one like this until this set. Very unique. Open that up. Okay. So we have 12 half pans in this one, and it's kind of interesting. This doesn't sit level on this one. This one actually touches the desk. So your paint mixes will go down to the ends of each of these wells. Hopefully that's not too much of a slope. And if it is, I usually just stick my eraser under it, and then it's all fine. And once again, this lid does not touch the desk. And I'm kind of curious. I'm pretty sure the paint's going to follow these little grooves and pull up down there or in the grooves themselves, so that will be interesting. I'm very excited to try it. I still love having a tin that is more unique like this, one that I haven't seen before. And it does have these 6 empty wells here, which makes me think that maybe I could put the 6 half pans here that are pure Schminke colors into here and just keep this one for special mixing palette. Oh, but I do have Volcano Red. Yeah, there's just 6. No, there's 8 that are pure Schminke colors without being mixes. So these tabs are in pretty tightly. What I'm wondering is if we scoot that down, sure, we can fit. Yes, we can. An extra half pan on each end of these. So I can put all 8 of these pure colors in there if I would like to. I will think about that. I'm not sure. I'll go through these colors with you when I swatch that. But let's go ahead and open the yellow again. What yellow was that? It was the lemon yellow, so lemon yellow. And I think when I was looking at these before the video, I only have 3 duplicate colors, so that's pretty cool. So another video where I can't count. There's 9 in here, not 12. I don't know why I do that. I just assume things and not count them. Probably because I don't want to take the time to count them online or while I'm videoing, and I just assume it's 12 and it's not. There's 9 over there and 3 duplicates between the 2 sets. Okay, so here's the lemon yellow, and this one, it's also cracked. I don't care that it's cracked. I just thought you guys might find it interesting. Should I count these? Should I make sure there's actually 12 here? Okay, I can see there's 12. So this is that beautiful botanical set. Here's a quick glance of the colors, in case you did want to know before we get into the swatch sheets for them. Here's the colors on the 9 set. I read those off to you though. So the colors in this set seem to be in a pretty decent order. I don't know that I would necessarily change anything in the order on this one, but this set is a very strange order of colors. I would definitely change that around. This color here, 359, needs to be between these two because it's more of an orangey color. I just couldn't handle this. Like, these are greens and they're spread apart. These 3 blues are spread apart. Definitely will be changing some things around. They are all unwrapped, and I don't know, there you go. The lemon yellows are the ones that are the worst cracked, except for maybe this transparent green gold. But the cracks are just on like the very, very top last pour. I think these have 4 pores per pan, at least for the half pans. Yeah, all of the pans are poured with 4 pores. So it's just that last top layer, no big deal. This one, which one? The sepia brown did fall out when I was labeling it. I just added a drop of gum arabic in the bottom of the half pan, and now it seems to be fine. The duplicate colors are lemon yellow, Saturn red, and permanent green olive. So just out of curiosity, I was trying to see if I could fit every half pan of pure Schminke paint that I have into this, and I cannot unless I eliminate the duplicates, okay? So if I just keep this half pan of lemon yellow and Saturn red, for example, out, and this Turner's yellow, like if I keep the duplicates out, then maybe they'll all fit. But will they fit in an order I'll be happy with? I'll find out. And do I really want to do this? I'm not sure. Well, they do all fit with the duplicates taken out. And when I had to choose between a full pan and a half pan, I chose the full pan just to see if that would work. So now the hard decision, do I keep them just in one tin? Or do I use the tin that the full pans, are these the half pans? I'm all confused. The full pans came in, or use this tin for something else. I really do like the idea of having all the Schminke paints that I own in one tin. I think I might do this. I have to put magnets on the ones that don't have magnets. This one did because it came from this little homemade set here. I will decide later. For now, I'm going to swatch these in the order and the set that they came in over in my Etcher sketchbook, and that will put off this decision for a while. Yes, that's a good idea. So I'm all set up to do my new way of swatching, which is water, color, salt. Salt on just half of it. So not only can I not count, I am also apparently uncoordinated, and my niece and I laugh at each other all the time about this, but I just went out to my truck to grab something. I shut my finger in the door. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts so badly. I don't know if you can see this, but I am right-handed, and here's the difference between those fingers right now. The light's horrible, that's okay, but oh, it hurts. And it turns out if you only smash this finger, and I was able to shut the door and pull my finger out, so it wasn't even stuck in there, it was just like the tip. Well, apparently the nerves are connected very much a lot in the middle finger, the thumb, and it goes clear up the arm into the shoulder, because everything aches. Okay, let's try our best to forget about that and do our swatching. One thing that I am a little unfamiliar with is how easily Schminke paints re-wet, because I've only barely used the ones that were in that little palette you saw in the beginning. So I'll do a re-wetting with you guys a little bit here, like for the first 2, and then we'll just kind of time lapse the rest. So water down so we have time to do the salt, and then let me see how this goes. I would say not bad. Not as quick as some that I've used like Rembrandt Core, but that's pretty good. Looks like we have a good amount in the brush, and that's very pretty. And salt. Let's try one more with you here. That was the Lemon Yellow PY3. only 3-star light fastness. And that's kind of interesting because as I was doing these, I did notice some had, oh shoot, now I can't remember if it was 4 or 5-star light fastness. You can see that that's bleeding and it went clear into that whole swatch. So I apparently need to skip a section before I do the next one. I thought I was being careful enough, but I was not. So we will skip one and I will re-wet the magenta with you guys. We don't want bleeding to interfere with our results. And by swatching these in water, we can tell how granulating they are. It helps when you swatch them in water. So that one re-wet beautifully, absolutely beautifully. Wow, that's a gorgeous color. Salt. All right, we're gonna continue that the whole way through and we'll see you guys when they're all dry. I still end up getting the orange or the Saturn red bleeding into the yellow a little bit. Oops, oh well. Another fun thing about you guys being able to watch this swatching, even though it's sped up, is that it takes me long enough in real time that you guys can start seeing it dry and see the salt effects because they're so cool. It's so much fun to do it this way. And you can see I got some of that ultramarine violet mixed in with the perylene up there. They kind of touched and mixed together, but just a little bit. It's not too bad. So I didn't do very good on these and waiting until the close one was dry before going on because I was just too anxious to see them, apparently. I did go ahead and re-swatch the ones that I got from Diane just so I could see them big and know what order I wanted to put them in when I put them all into a bigger palette later. They're all very granulating. Okay, it's the next day. All the salt's brushed off and they are so pretty. Here's my finger the next day. It's not happy. It's quite angry. Yeah, owie. Alright, I'm going to paint a mass tone stripe over these. It's just something I've never done in the past, but I want to do this time. And this was kind of interesting because you can get a significantly darker color than I got by obviously swatching in water because water dilutes it right from the beginning. So it's fun to see these mass tone stripes go over the top of them. I really enjoyed that part. And something kind of interesting you'll see later is some shininess, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when everything's all dry. So I will move right on from this and go directly into a painting, and I start by doing the Botanical set just on its own. I wanted you guys to see what a painting would look like with just the Botanical set colors, and so I'm doing these pretty tulips. This was a picture one of my friends had posted on Facebook, and I asked her if I could use it. As far as I can tell, then she has tulips in her yard every year, and so once in a while on Facebook we get pictures of them, and they're so pretty. Tulips happen to be my favorite flower, for the record. And we're not using the new sketchbook yet. This is still my Etcher sketchbook, 100% cotton paper, the 105 pounds that I already mentioned to you guys, and so it's fun to use it on paper I'm really familiar with because I have a feel for how it should behave, right, according to comparing it to other paint sets that I have. And I definitely should have left more light showing through in the top tulips, the red ones. I know I've moved on to the other set already, the 9-pan set, but you can kind of see the top tulips over there and they lost some of their light in them. But that's okay. You have to sometimes have paintings that are not perfect. I do love the yellow ones, however, so the paint has a pretty big drying shift. I do want to mention that before I get too far along here. So almost all watercolor paints will have some kind of drying shifts, but these just were more noticeable to me than usual, than paints that I've been using lately, we'll put it that way. So as you can see, I brought my Posca out and got some light back in the tulips up there. Here they are, very up close. I do not have my studio lights on, I just have window light. Okay, I need to run in a minute, but what I have done is put all of these magnets on the bottom and stuck them in the order that I think I want them. But let's test these papers before I leave and see if they are suited for watercolor or not. So that one is a different paper here in the cover. So to test it, we would have to go to this page. And I don't know if I want these for anything special or not. So I was considering doing this on the very back page, but I think it'll be okay. So for testing watercolor, I'm just going to make a watery wash. And I need a bigger brush. Hang on. Let's go very big here. Well, very big for me. This is, other than a very loose hockey brush, this is my biggest brush. Let's just get this all nice and wet. It's awkward because it's so not used. Well, this seems promising so far. That is a lot of water, so we are definitely testing the waters here. Haha. What color do we want? Let's get some of this bright lemon yellow. Okay, well, this is definitely not falling apart like that one paper did in that sketchbook that I did the giveaway for, so that is promising. That's really pretty. I'm excited about this. This might actually work. And I didn't do anything too special here. I'm just laying colors down, so I'll probably come back in later with a fine liner. Not in this video, just later down the road when I'm working in the sketchbook again and just draw something fun on it. Looks very pretty, I think, so. Yeah, that handled watercolor in that big wash of water just fine. And let's try this one. This is the smooth. So even the cover feels like it is made out of the same paper. And let's do the back. Let's do the back of this. So we will wet it. Yeah, I did not expect these to be sized. This is really surprising. Doing this one was really fun. You know, it just sometimes dropping color into water like that can just be a blast. And it was one of our exercises in that sketchbook revival that I did a few days of, like 6 days of. And then you make something out of your blobs later. So maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. It looks pretty as is. So the question is, did we have a little bit of paper pilling or not? Is that just the nature of this really fun paper? I am not sure. I did not have the feeling or trouble with it that I had when I used that one sketchbook, so we might be okay. Regardless, you can paint on it way easier than that other paper, so yeah, I think we're probably okay. It's yet more days later. I can't keep track, so I don't know where we left off, but there's the finger update. It's still unhappy and fat, but I'm starting to get feeling back in it. I did the swatch sheet, labeled the whole thing, and laminated it. It is so cute. Okay, a few things. All we have left to do, as far as I remember, is to use one of these Hahnemuhle sketchbooks, and I did put clips on this one to see if we could fix that edge. So let's pull those off and see what we have. These little ones didn't really fit, but I only could find one of the huge ones. Oh, did not help. That's very disappointing. Oh well, it's a sketchbook. As we open and close it, it'll work itself out. But look, oh wow, I didn't even know if I tested that before, but it does open pretty nicely. Yeah, not bad. I'm not going to use this one in the demo because this is the one that I want to save for my very special project. So I'll just put this clip back on it for now, put it aside. I think we should test the really big one, this one here. And I'm just going to do a generalization of this cute little picture here. So that's going to be my inspiration. I'm just going to do a loose painting though with that in mind. And we might as well do it on the very first page, right? Get that over with. Hey, that's interesting. The very first page is watercolor. So actually it looks like they have bound this one with watercolor paper. So the inside of the cover is also watercolor paper. That's kind of neat. This first page is flat. It's not glued. Like, here, I'll show you. The little Khadi one, it has the different paper on the front, and see how it's glued. That's how they hold this together with the cover. And that's why in these, when you find the first page glued, you are not supposed to unglue them or your entire sketchbook will fall apart. So I'd probably just bend it right here and use the partial page there and then flip to keep going. Anyway, this one isn't like that. So I've put this off till the end because honestly, I'm afraid to use this paper. I am afraid that I'm going to be disappointed. Because if you've been on my channel a little while, you will know that I was all excited about the Strathmore 500 100% cotton paper, and I received it as a gift from my good friend, and I cannot handle using it with watercolor. It's horrible for me with watercolor. I do not like it. And in fact, my son's girlfriend tried it on a moose painting she did a month or so ago, and it did not work for her. So she actually wants to try her painting again on different paper, and I think that's a really good idea because it did not work out at all. So I'm afraid this paper is going to disappoint me, but we'll find out. I think I will tape the edges just to keep the pages underneath it intact, and then it also holds the paper down when I'm using it inside the sketchbook. Even though it's laying nice and flat, I don't have any problem with that. It's just nicer if you don't have that little bulge, just a little page lift there. I almost forgot about something really important before we start. When I looked back at these swatches and the mass tone that I put over the top, you can see the glare that you get, especially on that one. You get that on all of these and the edges. It reminds me of the Kuretake Gonzai Tambi paints. There we go. Look at the paints gray here. You see that shine along both edges of that mass tone swatch? The Prussian blue. I mean, it's pretty obvious. The magenta is very clear in this bottom half. So if you don't want that edge shine, I would just say be careful how thick you put the paint on. Just warning you right now that the camera has to be up so high because this is such a large sheet of paper, sketchbook / paper, you know what I mean, that I'm probably gonna get my head over here once in a while in the way, just how it has to happen. So I did record this entire painting in real time, and this video here though is already so long that I'm going to keep this sped up, but you can kind of see how the paint reacts on it. What I will do probably when I use this paper again is give you an extra video, not an extra video, but like an additional video where I show you some things on it in real time, because I think that would be pretty interesting for you to see. However, I did want you to see this entire painting process here because it's kind of fun. It's a unique, different way of painting for me. I really enjoyed it, trying to kind of copy the blocky, blobby look of the reference photo that I was using. And since I'm able to keep the paper still and not move it around, hopefully it won't make you too dizzy, but I don't think it's too bad. You know, watching it here and editing, it seems pretty okay at this speed to me, so hopefully you enjoy it. And I'm trying to tell there, and I can't remember if I used my round 10 or my round 12 brush, like pretty much for the entire painting. I probably pull out my smaller brush eventually. I did use that flat brush, obviously, when I did the water in the very beginning, you saw that. And yeah, I do actually, right there, grab my round size 6. That's a super cheap brush, Royal and Langnickel. You can get a whole set of round brushes in different sizes for them for like $13. I think it's linked probably down below in the description box for you guys if you're interested. But that has been the best brush. I got it in an art subscription box, and I just love it. And this Winsor & Newton Cotman brush I got when I first started my watercolor journey, and it's lasted all these years. And trust me, guys, it's a lot of years, a lot of years. Even before I started YouTube, I had that Cotman round 10 and round 12, and I use them every single time I paint, unless I'm testing some other brush. So it's really fun. I'm so pleased with them. They came with my Winsor & Newton paint set that I got in a wooden box, and they've just been my die-hard paint brushes this entire time. And I need to tell you guys, before I forget, that I was so sad and disappointed later because this painting turns out really, really, really pretty. In my opinion, I like it. And it's okay to like your own paintings, isn't it? I think it is. Anyway, I opened the sketchbook later, and this is not the first page. Somehow, when I went to open and actually start painting, I skipped a page, and I'm so sad because this would have made such a beautiful first page in the sketchbook. So yeah, I still have to do the first page in the sketchbook, and not just the first page, but the second page also that is under the palette currently that you're seeing on the screen. So dang it all. I was foiled. I don't even know how that happened, but you know, it's just me and one of those days again, I guess. Can't count, can't get the right page in the sketchbook, whatever. So, how's the paper, you might be wondering? It is great. It reminds me a lot of the Fluid 100% cotton paper because it's easier to lift colors off of this than the Etcher sketchbook, but I really liked it. It behaved perfectly well. I'm very happy with it. For now, I'm done. We'll see after I step away from this for a while and let's see how the tape comes off. I did put this tape around my arm a couple of times and try and get some of the sticky off, but so far it looks like it's coming off beautifully. So there are a couple of tests, or at least one test for sure we didn't do on this is to try any kind of masking fluid. So that will have to be later in the future. Oh, I pulled that one off too fast. I think that was still wet over there too, maybe. So I ripped tiniest bit of paper. My fault. Oh yeah, that whole corner up there is still wet. We'll have to wait on that. I could try if I was like super careful. Nope, it's gonna come right off. Okay, don't pull your tape off when it's wet. We know this. We just get impatient. We want to see what it looks like sooner rather than later. So I'll just put that off the top of the screen there and you can pretend it has a nice white frame around it. Okay, okay. Well, that's pretty. It's very bright. There is definite shininess where I've used, I was gonna say where I've used thicker paint, but right here it's just like maybe a drop of water and then it developed a super shiny edge. Let me see if I can show that to you. Well, anyway, there's some shininess, especially here. It reminds me of the Gonzai Tombi paints, just like I said earlier. However, that was enjoyable. We have some more testing we need to do with it, but now at least I feel confident that I can do the series that I've been dying to do in this square sketchbook here because this is the exact size I want for that series. So definitely stay tuned for that. I am so grateful that this paper will work. Thank goodness. Holy moly, we did a lot in this video. It's probably very long, and there's not even everything we looked at is in this little picture here. There's this, and that palette I just showed you, and who knows what all. Thank you so much for joining me. What a bunch of fun things to play with. I don't know about you, but I had a great time. Alright guys, remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you're new if you don't want to miss any more fun videos. I have lots more fun stuff to play with. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. This is the Hordem. Oh dear. Okay. I really am a computer engineer. You just would never know it. I am, for real. Okay. Pepper. Oh my gosh. Little puppy action.
Pepper. Oh, yeah, I can't believe this ears went off.
Oh my gosh.